Put how much into the car? $4,000
Yes.
in payments?
And not on top of everything I had to fix, which they did not do.
Listen to me. Do you have a contract in writing that indicates what they're supposed to fix?
It was all verbal.
Fine. So you've put in $4,000 in payments for the car?
Yes.
She was supposed to give me a down payment of $3,000, pay $200 every 2 weeks.
I don't care.
Okay,
You're getting your car back.
that's right.
But she's getting something. I mean, she used this car for 7 months. She's not going to use it for 7 months without paying for it. If you rented a car for 7 months for $300 a month is $2,100. So you deduct, let's say she paid $4,000 into the car.
But she didn't pay $4,000. It was $3,850.
Fine. You have proof that you paid her $4,000?
No, it was a rough estimate.
Oh, well, rough estimate. She said $3,850?
That's correct.
Minus $2,100 equals 0, 5, 7, $1,750. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
Perfect.
So I'm out of a car now?
Yes,
Out of
car
the
you
money?
didn't pay for.
Well, why did I pay $4,000 now to lose
Just
a
a
car?
second. You didn't pay $4,000 for a car.
$38.50.
What you paid for was the equivalent of a car rental for $300 of a very nice
I
Ford
paid for a
Expedition.
car.
You didn't pay for it.
I have my
Make
witness-
believe it's a bank. When was the last time you made a payment?
August.
That's too bad. You're out of
But
luck.
they didn't go
The
with
car
their
is just-
agreement.
The car is
They
just
didn't go with their agreement.
repossessed. Listen to me. The car is now repossessed. They are going to take the car because you can't drive around
I
with somebody's
paid up
property
to
yourself.
August.
To June.
Just a second. Look at me.
We had an agreement, and this is my truck that I would have paid for if they would have went with their agreement. I paid up
You
until
was not
August.
paying your payments.
They didn't
Miss
put
Lagunas,
the title in my
Miss
name.
Lagunas, listen to me.
Yes.
She secreted the car,
I know.
and she did not pay for it for 3 months. You are repossessing the car. She doesn't like it. It's tough. She didn't make the payments. She hid the car so that you couldn't repossess it.
They were following me, putting my kids in danger, harassing
Your
my
Honor, I have the
job.
911
Miss
tape.
Lagunas, I don't want to hear you unless I ask you a question. Do
Okay.
you understand?
Yes.
Otherwise, you're out of here without your truck, period. Do you understand?
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you again. Maybe if you dressed and covered your shoulders when you came to court, you would understand what court decorum is. Otherwise, be quiet unless I speak to you.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'm treating it as if you rented her car. A bank would not do that for you. Just done. Listen to me.
But-
Just be quiet.
And later today,
You have no relation to this case whatsoever. Zero. You have nothing to do with this case. Do we understand each other?
Yes.
Perfect.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Margaret Lagunas claims former friend April Wilson owes for an SUV that she is currently hiding from her. April is countersuing for harassment, claiming Margaret endangered the lives of her and her children.
Now, go buy yourself a new car. You're getting $1,000. You're getting $1,000.
$38.50 into it,
Listen.
plus the stuff I fixed.
Miss Wilson, I'm not going to bother with you anymore. You used her property, and you're getting back $1,750. I'm treating it as if you rented her car. A bank would not do that for you. Do you understand that?
bank-
Listen to me. A bank would not do that for you.
But-
I'm treating...
Sorry.
Just be quiet. You didn't pay for it. It's being repossessed. You're getting back $1,750. Use it as a down payment for another car. Do you understand?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. That's all. Step out.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I put all this money into the car to now not have a car.
This is just the kind of person she is. She's done it to many other people.
And I get $1,750. Who's gonna buy a car for $1,750?
It's been a game since we gave it to her.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Squire versus Sarah Serro. Step forward, please.
Maureen Squire is suing her son, 19-year-old Matthew Sarasaro, for legal fees resulting from an ongoing court battle. Matthew says his mom won't let him see his 12-year-old sister.
All right, Miss Squire, you and your husband were divorced. You had 4 children. This is one of your children.
Yes, ma'am.
Oldest, youngest, in the middle?
Oldest.
And when you separated, which was in what year?
December of 2000.
When you separated, the children stayed with your husband. Is that correct?
Yes, they did.
And they remained with your husband until 2005, when you pursued custody of one of your children, your daughter. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
And how old is that child?
She's 13.
And in 2005, she came to live with you.
Yes, she did.
Your first name is?
Matthew.
Matthew remained with his father?
Yes, ma'am.
And his other two siblings?
Marshall and Michael.
When Matthew turned 18, which must have been just recently, Matthew decided he wanted to pursue visitation with his sister. How long had it been since you saw your sister?
It'd been a year.
1 year?
1 year.
Had you tried to see her before that?
I had tried to email her. I had tried to call her.
How far do you live from your mother?
I really don't know where my mom lives, but I'd have to say more than a half an hour.
So you went to court to try to get visitation with your sister.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you try calling your mother?
I did.
What happened?
There's a call wave block on the phone, so every time you call, you have to give your name. There was a few times that I had called, and my mom would have been listening on the phone calls, so I did not feel that it was appropriate that she would listen on the phone calls between me and my sister. I didn't think that was needed.
Okay, so you went to court.
Yes, ma'am.
This is your lawsuit, Miss Squire. Your lawsuit says that your son abused the court process by taking you to court, and he did several things which, according to you, prolonged the litigation. And then ultimately, when the matter was set for trial, he didn't appear.
Yes, that's true.
So you want him to pay you for damages and pain and suffering and whatever. You say first he went to court, which he has an absolute right to do. You understand that?
Yes, I do.
So A, he has a right to seek visitation with his sister. He should be seeing his sister. But if he's not, he wants a judge to say this is when you can see her. So he went to court. That's not an abusive process. We agree on that.
Yes.
What county do you live in?
Dutchess County.
And what county do you live in?
Dutchess County, ma'am.
According to your mother, you tried to get the matter transferred from one county to another.
No, ma'am. I had filed the paperwork, which I have here in Dutchess County. The reason that it might move to another county, which was Orange County, is because my father is cousins with a family court judge in Dutchess County. All the judges in Dutchess County recused themselves, and the case got moved to Orange County. I had asked the county clerk if we could have it heard in Dutchess County because it provided an inconvenience for me to drive 40 minutes from my household and
to
40 minutes
Orange
back.
County, and they said no.
They said no.
Now do you understand? One of the bases for your complaint that he abused you by abusing the court process, which you articulate here, is you say he tried to get the court county changed, but the judge denied that.
We went to court twice in front of Judge Reitz, and that is when Judge Reitz decided to let Judge Horowitz in Orange County handle the case.
Listen to me. First of all, you should both know that I know Judge Reitz. I don't think that makes any difference because I wouldn't do a favor for my grandmother if she was standing in front of me. What I'm trying to understand is the two of you live in Dutchess County.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
You both wanted the case heard in Dutchess County. He wouldn't want it heard in another county. I assume you wouldn't want it heard in another county.
No, I am satisfied that it's being heard in Orange County with Judge Horowitz because Judge Horowitz has been the judge on our case for the past 4 years.
Your
Oh,
Honor.
that, just a second. Put your hand down. Don't speak. Who are you?
The husband.
You have no relation to this case whatsoever. Zero. You're not the father of these 4 children?
No, ma'am.
You never stood in place of a father to him? You have nothing to do with this case. Do we understand each other?
Yes.
Perfect.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You got to grow up, not him. You created this situation with his father.
No, I
You
didn't.
did. Oh, madam, there isn't a question in my mind that you created the situation because they're children.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Maureen Squire says her son, 19-year-old Matthew Sarasaro, owes for legal fees resulting from an ongoing lawsuit. Matthew says his mom refuses to let him see his 12-year-old sister.
Now, the next complaint that you have, Miss Squire, he also requested a public defender.
Yes.
Perfect. I would too if I were 18 years old and not familiar with the court process. I would too like to have a lawyer help to represent me. And if I didn't have money, I would ask the court to assign a lawyer to represent me. Why is that abusing the process?
He claimed to be a full-time student at the time of this court proceeding,
Who
and
cares
I have
if he was a full-time student or not? He was 18 years old.
Well, that was his claim, that he was a full-time student.
I
and
don't care if he
needed-
was a full-time student or a dropout. He was 18 years old. He should definitely have a lawyer to help represent him. I don't know whether you had a lawyer or not, but you're older and supposedly wiser. If he wanted the court to assign an attorney to him, that's his absolute right. And as far as I was concerned, if I were the family court judge sitting on that case, I would have assigned the panel attorney to represent him and charged the county.
Which was assigned to him, Your Honor. But
Perfect.
The issue is that he claimed to be a full-time student, and he was not. He withdrew from college.
So what? What was he doing?
I don't know.
Did he have money for a lawyer?
I don't know.
Did you have money for a lawyer?
Yes, I did.
Did you hire a lawyer?
I have the same attorney for the past 6 years.
Absolutely wonderful. He's 18. You're lucky you're not supporting him.
I was supporting him.
You're lucky you're
Your
not
Honor,
now.
she never takes child support.
Okay, then the next thing that you complain about, Ms. Squire, is that my attorney suggested at our May court date, all of these dates he appeared in, by the way, is that correct?
Up until June 15th.
Just listen to me. I said so far, all of these dates he appeared in.
Yes.
Then in May, your attorney, who you've had for
6 years.
6 years, did you have an attorney in May?
No, ma'am. I've never had an attorney.
Just answer. Your lawyer spoke to him, and I assume the judge's court clerk and the judge, because I know the way that things go, and your attorney suggested, according to your complaint, at our May court date, because the matter was adjourned to May, that he could have supervised visitation with my daughter, provided her counselor was present. Matthew refused this solution,
Yes, he did.
which is his absolute right. Just because your lawyer suggested it to him doesn't mean he has to agree. Just because your lawyer says, listen, I have a solution. You can see your sister as long as it's supervised by her counselor. He says, I don't want that. I want to go to trial. He's entitled to do that. So I'm crossing that out. My attorney suggested we have supervised visits, and Matthew refused this solution. So a trial date was set in June. When the trial date rolled around, I hired an expert witness and, of course, had my attorney, who you've had for 6 years, not with regard to a case involving him.
Yes.
He could not have had a case with you 6 years ago, madam. 6 years ago, he was 12.
He was also a part of a custody agreement with my ex-husband.
If you had to listen to me, Miss Squire, you had a lawyer with regard to a case involving your ex-husband.
And my children also had a law
He was
guardian.
not a party to that proceeding 6 years ago.
Okay.
But when that June date came around, Matthew did not show up.
No, he did not.
And that's what you're complaining about. And that's what you think shows an abusive process.
Yes, I do.
It doesn't.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Listen, you have no case, Miss Squire.
I have transcripts of the court.
Listen to me. You have no case. Your son did not abuse the process of the court. Your son asked for only things that were reasonable, that anybody would have asked for.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम गाइस, कैसे हैं आप लोग? उम्मीद करता हूँ सब खैर खैरियत से होंगे। अच्छा, तो आज है हमारा डे 1, तो न्यू चैनल बनाया है। आज हमारी प्रॉपर वीडियो बनेगी गुरुजी पर। गुरुजी कौन है?
जॉनी सिंस।
गुरुजी कौन है?
जॉनी सिंस।
गुरुजी जॉनी सिंस। उन पे आज बनेगी वीडियो। कैमरा लगा दिया खुफिया, इस रोड पे खड़े हुए हैं। ये एक सोसाइटी की एंट्रेंस है। अभी फिलहाल तो कोई बंदा नहीं आया, थोड़ी देर तक आता है कोई
आता है,
उसको
तो आपको दिखाते हैं,
उसको घेरा पाते हैं तो उसको पट्टू शट्टू डाल के ना जरा गुरुजी के बारे में पूछते हैं। और दुआ कीजिएगा गाइस, कोई पेंडा ही टकर जाए हमें, वरना हमारा जो है ना प्लान चौपट हो जाना है।
सही है।
ले भाई तू पहुंच कैमरे पे। कैमरा भी खुफिया लगाया है ना, तो यार वो पीछे से जरा ध्यान से, कैमरा वहां से नजर आ रहा है, कुछ रख ली आगे।
चले मैं रख लूंगा।
ठीक है,
चलें, ठीक है,
तो
चलता हूँ।
जैसे ही कोई बंदा आता है ना, मिलते हैं आपको फिर। पहुंच कैमरे पे पहुंच। हाँ कोई नहीं रहा फिलहाल, अगर कोई आता है तो देखते हैं क्या होता है। गाइस एक बंदा आ रहा है, देखते हैं क्या होता है। एक